Good morning to all. In this video, we are going to discuss what are certain methods to improve the efficiency of gas turbine. Okay, so efficiency is nothing but the thermal efficiency of the gas turbine. As I said, one of the limitation or disadvantage of the gas turbine is the thermal efficiency is very less. Now, to improve the thermal efficiency of the gas turbine plant, we are utilizing certain methods. Okay. So now to improve the specific output and thermal efficiency, some methods are employed. So what is specific efficiency, thermal efficiency? Thermal efficiency is nothing but the ratio of work output to the amount of heat supplied. When work output is increased, automatically the thermal efficiency is going to be increased. So hence we are implementing three methods to improve the thermal efficiency. So what are those methods means? First method is intercooling method, second method is reheating method, and third method is regeneration method. Okay. Now intercooling method. Okay. So now why you are implementing this intercooling method means here since the turbine and compressor both are arranged on a common shaft in open cycle gas turbine system. Hence, whatever the work produced by the turbine, in that all 80% of work was utilized by the compressor to run the compressor. Only 20% is utilized for useful work. Hence, that work output is very less. Now, the expansion, now to reduce that effect, the work required by the compression is reduced by compressing the air in two stages. Okay. So in between the two stages of compressor, an intercooler is arranged. As shown in figure. Okay. So this is the schematic layout of intercooling system. See here, first one is high pressure compressor and second compressor is low pressure compressor. Okay. So in between high pressure compressor and low pressure compressor, we are using an intercooler system. And between the compressor and turbine, we are using a combustion chamber. Okay. So here combustion chamber. Okay. Now, whatever the air compressed in the compression system is passed to the second compressor by means of an intercooler. So, what is the function of intercooler? The intercooler function is to exchange the heat. Okay, by means of heat addition or heat rejection. Here, by means of some amount of heat rejection, the compressed air is passed to the low pressure compressor. Okay, so here in low pressure compressor, whatever the air will be compressed, that compressor is air will be used to run the compressor one, and so that the running of high pressure compressor, the work output to run the high pressure compressor is very high than running of the low pressure compressor. Okay, so here in the previous case, without intercooling system, 80% of work is utilized to run the high pressure compressor. Now, only 60% of work can be utilized to run the low pressure compressor. Hence, the work output from the turbine is increases. Hence, with respect to that, the thermal efficiency of the system also increases. Okay. So, this is the TS diagram for intercooling system. See here point 1 to 2. So as I said, in compressor, adiabatic compression will be takes place. So in point 1 to 2, adiabatic compression, high pressure compressor takes place, and 2 to 3, constant pressure heat rejection takes place, and from 3 to 4, again adiabatic compression will be takes place, and from 4 to 5, constant pressure heat addition takes place, and again from 5 to 6, adiabatic expansion will be takes place. This is the TS diagram for intercooling system. Okay. Now, what is the work input with the intercooling system? So, what is work input? Work input is nothing but compression work. So compression is taking place between point 2 and 1 and between 4 and 3, between 3 and 4. Okay. Now, so here the intercooling, with intercooling system, the work done by the compressor work input is equal to Cp into T2 dash minus T1. T2 dash represents the actual change in temperature, mine plus Cp into T4 dash minus T3. Okay. The work with input without intercooling is T2 dash minus T1 plus Cp into TL minus TL dash minus T2 dash. Okay. By comparing these two equations, we can say that the work input with intercooling system is less than the work input without intercooling system. Hence, the work ratio is increases. Okay. So now work ratio is nothing but net work output to the gross work output. Okay. So work next, that is work of expansion minus work of compression divided by work of expansion. That is nothing but the work ratio. Okay. The heat supplied with the intercooling system is Cp into T5 minus T4 dash. Heat supplied with the intercooling system is Cp into T5 minus TL dash. Okay. So that is the how to analyze the intercooling system and how it is utilized to improve the thermal efficiency. Okay. So because less work has been utilized to run the low pressure compressor than hence the efficiency has been improved. The work ratio increases, then efficiency has been improved. Now another method to improve the efficiency of the plant is reheating method or reheat cycle. Okay. So now here, to improve the output of the turbine, to improve the efficiency of output of the turbine is done by expanding gas in two stages, and a reheater is arranged between the two turbines. Okay. So in these two turbines, one turbine is the high pressure turbine and second turbine is the low pressure turbine. Okay. What is the function of high pressure turbine is, the high pressure turbine is used to run the compressor completely and low pressure turbine is used to produce the useful work output. Okay. In the TS diagram, the line 4L dash represents expansion in low pressure turbine without reheating. Okay. So this is the schematic layout of reheating cycle. See here, between the compression and high pressure turbine, a combustion chamber is arranged, and between the high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine, a reheater is arranged. So whenever when the compressed air from the combustion chamber enters into the compressed air from the high pressure compressor is passed to the combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber, heatation will takes place, and by the hot flue gases are generated, and the hot gases are passed to the high pressure turbine. Okay. After expansion in high pressure turbine, at the exit of high pressure turbine, it is again having some amount of kinetic energy and some pressure energy. Okay. So with that energy, it will be entered into the reheater. In reheater, again some quantity of heat has been added, and further expansion will be takes place in the low pressure turbine. That is the schematic layout of a reheat cycle and working of reheat system. Okay. So this is a TS diagram for reheat system. Okay. So if you neglect the mechanical losses produced, then the workput of high pressure turbine is equal to the input of compressor, because whatever the work developed in high pressure turbine, that work is completely utilized to run the high pressure compressor. Therefore, the output of the turbine should be equal to the work input to the compressor. So now the work output of turbine CPG to T2 dash minus T1 is equal to CPG into T3 minus T4. That is, CPG into T3 minus T4 is the work done in the turbine. CPG into T2 dash minus T1 is the work input in the compressor. Okay. Then the net work output of low pressure turbine with reheating is CPG into T5 minus T6 dash. Okay. Then without reheating is CPG into T4 dash minus TL dash. Okay. So now by comparing this above two equation, T5 minus T6 dash is greater than T4 dash minus TL dash, so that reheating increases the net work output. Okay. Now what is the heat supplied? The heat is supplied in two stages, first in the combustion chamber and second in the reheating system. So in the combustion chamber, heat supplied is CPG into T3 minus T2 dash. In compressor, it is CPG plus CPG into T5 minus T4 dash. Okay. So this is the heat supplied in the reheating system. Okay. So next method is regeneration method. Okay. So here in this regeneration method, we are utilizing the exhaust steam. Okay. So generally the exhaust of the gas from the gas turbine consists of large quantity of heat with them. Okay. Since the temperature is greater than ambient temperature, the heat can be utilized to heat the compressed air as shown in figure. Okay. So now to improve the thermal efficiency, one thing is we have to improve the work output, or we have to reduce the amount of heat supplied. Okay. So if you reduce the amount of heat supplied also, the thermal efficiency can be improved. So in regeneration method, what you are doing is we are reducing the amount of heat supplied. That means amount of mass of fuel has to be supplied for the combustion purpose. Okay. Now so by means of this regeneration method, the amount of fuel supplied can be reduced. So this is the schematic layout of regeneration system. Okay. See here in this regeneration system, the compressor and turbine are arranged on same mountings or same shaft. So the compressed air is passed to the heat exchanger. From the heat, in the heat exchanger, from the exhaust gas of the turbine, the heat has been passed to the compressed air. So in the compressed air, the compressed air was partially heated and it is passed to the combustion chamber. So in the combustion chamber, due to the already rising the temperature, with the amount of less fuel supply, the combustion takes place and hot gases are supplied to the gas turbine. In the gas turbine, the steam will be expanded and work will be developed. Hence, the amount of heat supplied is reduced, then automatically the thermal efficiency also increases. Okay. So this is the diagram for the regeneration method. Okay. So the effectiveness of the regeneration method. So the effectiveness is nothing but ratio of increase in enthalpy per kg of air to the actual increase in enthalpy per kg of air. So that is T3 minus T2 dash divided by T5 dash minus T2 dash. This is the effectiveness of the system. So we are having another type of cycle, that is closed cycle gas turbine. So this is the schematic layout of closed cycle gas turbine. So the closed cycle gas turbine consists of compressor, heat exchanger, turbine and heat exchanger. So heat exchanger is nothing but the heat exchanger between the process 2-3 is just a combustion chamber. Okay. So and in between 4-1 is it is an heat exchanger which is used to release the air heat into the atmosphere. So it's used to release the heat into atmosphere. Okay. So here in process 1-2 is adiabatic expansion process, compression process. 2-3 is constant pressure heat addition process. 3-4 is adiabatic expansion process, and 4-1 is constant pressure heat rejection process. Okay. So the major elements of closed cycle gas turbine are compressor, combustion chamber, turbine and heat exchanger. Okay. So the closed cycle gas turbine is operating on Joule cycle. It operates on Joule cycle. Okay. In closed system, the air will behave as an ideal gas because the same air is going to be circulated throughout the cycle. Okay. So in closed cycle, there exists a 4 process. Process 1-2, the constant pressure heat compression, adiabatic compression from pressure P1 to P2, and in process 2-3, constant pressure heat addition takes place and temperature has been raised from T2 to T3. So here the amount of heat supplied is mCp into T3 minus T2. Okay, and 3-4 is adiabatic expansion and the pressure has been dropped to initial pressure from P2 to P1. Okay, and 4-1 is constant pressure heat rejection, and heat rejection there is a loss of heat energy. Therefore, the amount of heat rejection is equal to mCp into T4 minus T1. Okay. So now the efficiency of the heat cycle, closed cycle, is the ratio of amount of heat supplied minus heat rejected by amount of heat supplied. Therefore, we can get the efficiency of closed cycle as 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. Thank you.